Well, Maine universities agreeing to keep transgender athletes out of women's sports, but the state's public schools are still under investigation for alleged Title IX violations with a Thursday deadline, or else the Trump administration has warned that they'll pause the funding. President Trump saying it all comes back to common sense.
I think it's a 90-10 issue, maybe more, but I do notice that it's a 90-10 when the voter booths closed.
Yep.
You know, when that curtain's pulled or whatever they happen to be pulling.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't talk about it, and I don't know why. I think they're making a mistake by not talking about it. It's such a simple thing.
Well, our next guest is a varsity high school athlete who suffered firsthand from Maine's transgender athlete policies. Cassidy Carlisle joins us now. Cassidy, welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm going to start by saying you're quite an accomplished athlete. Soccer, Nordic skiing, track and field, really impressive. Now, since you started junior high, you've had to change in front of trans athletes. You've had to, or students, you've had to compete against them. I guess my question to you is, how has all of these trans policies affected your childhood?
You know, I think it's one of those things when it happens, like you don't know what to do, but you definitely know something is wrong. You know, I was 13 years old and I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the platform to speak. And I think that makes it really hard because you feel like you don't have a voice, but that's not true. And I hope by me speaking up that a lot of younger people know that it's okay to speak up.
Yeah. 7th grade, having to change in front of a man. Child abuse. You said you weren't able to speak. You didn't feel like you felt like there could be a backlash if you spoke up. Is that why?
Yes.
Yeah. But you did speak eventually, and you gave a really important and big speech in front of your state capitol. Your message was to Governor Janet Mills, who's continued these policies despite being told by the Trump administration that they need to end. So what was your message to the governor?
My message to the governor was just to think about all of us women in her state. You know, if she can genuinely look at us and say, I'm not going to fight for you, then, you know, that's really heartbreaking because we had to fight a long time for her to have the position that she has. And a lot of women fought hard for her. So for her to look at all of us and say, I'm not going to fight for you is heartbreaking.
Yeah, hypocritical at that. You spoke there. You've also gone to the White House. You know, I think you just think back about 5 or 6 years, a lot of parents not even afraid. Parents were afraid to stand up for their girls because they would be, you know, socially shamed in their communities or accused of being a bigot. You see that tide turning, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, A.G. Bondi was absolutely amazing. She acted and treated us like she just wanted to hear our stories and that she told us, you know, you are not going to fight this alone anymore.
How did it feel to tell your story?
You know, it's sad that it's a story that I have, but I'm glad that I have the space to share it.
Beautiful. Well, Cassidy, you are a very courageous young woman. You're an incredible athlete. But more importantly, what you got inside, it shows right through. So God bless you. And thanks for standing up for so many other young women, something your own governor sadly can't do. Cassidy, thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.